Okay, welcome back to lesson 2 of White Tiger Kenpo Orange Belt. In this lesson we're going to cover headlock A, B, and C, as well as crash of the eagles A, B, C, and D, and E. One of the things about this belt is there's a lot of variations in this particular belt. It's probably one of the heaviest as far as the variations go. But they're pretty simple, so it's not that hard to remember all of them. So let's bow in and get started with your lesson. Okay, the first one we're going to go over is headlock. A, B, and C. Headlock A is for when they've got you in this kind of a position on the side. Headlock B and C is for when they're in the front. Headlock A is probably one of the most common ones seen. It's taught the same way in American Kenpo as well as in Tracy's Kenpo and White Tiger Kenpo. You can also see it in the movie Perfect Weapon. In this particular one, we're going to go to our trigger position, which is where your head is already in the headlock position. Now there again, as with any grab or choke that I teach you, always try to get to the point where you can start doing the technique as soon as you feel your body go into that position. So in other words, don't wait till you're completely in a headlock before you start to do anything. As soon as you feel it, you start doing the technique or parts of the technique or pieces of the technique so that you can get out of that before it gets really clamped on it and you get into a position that you can't defend. So what they've got here is, you can imagine someone's on the side of you, in which case it would be this side. You would be here, they would be here, and they've got your headlock, hence the name. So in this particular move, what we're going to do is we're going to start with our right foot and we're going to step to about the 230 position. At the same time we do this, we're going to do a double hammer fist. We're going to go one to the groin, which will bend them over, and one to the kidney, which will arch them back up. So from our trigger position here, we're going to step to the 230 position as we do a double hammer fist. Now, don't get too wild and over exaggeration of those moves, because remember, you're in a headlock, so there's arms right here. So it's going to be a pretty tight circle as you do it. But you got a groin here and a kidney shot here. As they stand back up, you hit them with the groin, they're going to double over. You hit them with the kidney, they're going to arch back up. As you do that, you're going to grab them by the hair, pull them back, and go into a heel palm into the nose or chin. So let's do this again. So from your trigger position, we stand here, double hammer fist. Grab the hair, heel palm, chin, hand in chamber. This technique is also in your kata short 3. Now, also to keep in mind is when they're doing a grab, if they're bald or they've got something on that you can't get to their hair, what you want to do is you can grab the nose. It's kind of like what we do, we call it piggy nose, and you pull them back that way, or you can grab the eyes. Okay? Sorry about that. My dojo keys just walked into the floor. They like to watch me teach. So, for a headlock from the side, you go to your trigger position. Your right foot steps to the 230 position. At the same time, you're going to do a double hammer fist. One to the groin, one to the kidney. The right hand is going to come up and grab the hair and pull it back to open up that chin and expose it as you pivot to a hard bow and go into a heel palm straight up into the chin, pulling that head back. Hand will go back into chamber. So we'll do it from this side so you can see. So from here, double hammer fist, grab the hair, pull back, and heel palm. Okay, again, headlock A. From here, double hammer fist, grab the hair, pull back, and heel palm. That's the most complicated one of this, at least in my opinion. The B version is really simple. They got you in a front headlock. Their legs are kind of spread eagle, kind of like this. So all we're going to do is just step forward slightly between the legs and just hammer fist the groin. Some of the students call this walking the dog, because you're just going to sit here and keep hammering until you get loose enough to get out from the headlock and proceed into a different technique to follow that up. So while you're doing this technique and you're learning it and you're practicing, try to work on different ways to follow it up, because obviously just sitting here hitting somebody isn't going to necessarily, may not always end the fight. You may need to do further damage to the opponent to make sure that they don't retaliate against you. So on the B version, From here, we're just going to step forward, hand in check, and just keep hammer fisting that groin as hard as you can until you get loose and then go into something else. So we got headlock A. So from here, double hammer fist, grab, heel palm. Then headlock B. Step forward, hammer fist to the groin. Headlock C is not real complicated. That's why they taught the chokes first in this one, so you can take your choice on this. What you're going to do is you're just going to drop down to your right knee, and at the same time, you're going to check and heel ridge hand the groin. Okay, from there, then the left hand is going to reach around their ankle, and you're going to forearm the top of the knee. So what you're going to do is you're going to put the forearm right there, right above the knee here. That'll lock that knee out. And then as you lock the knee out, you're going to take your left hand and pull that leg up and under your arm. Okay, you don't want to just pull without that lock, because you won't be able to get that foot to move very well. They'll be able to stand pretty steady on that one foot. So when you're down here like this, you're going to forearm. At the same time you forearm, you're going to stand up, lift that leg, and pull it forward. You're going to grab the toes and the heel, rotate them over onto their back, and then from there you just drop down and go into a choke of your choice. So when you're doing the technique in the air at home practicing, you just drop, pull, rotate over, and then go down onto your stomach and do the choke of your choice. Now remember, like I said in the first video, when you're doing these chokes, get in close, get on top of them, and don't leave any space, because space kills. So you want to make sure you get rid of all that space. Okay, headlock A again. From our trigger, double hammer fist, grab, heel palm. Then we got headlock B. We just step forward and keep hammer fisting. So we step forward, right hammer fist to the groin, and just keep moving. Then you got headlock C, where you drop to your right, ridge hand the groin, left hand grabs around the ankle, right forearm to the top of the leg, strike down and pull up, forward and up, rotate the leg over, and then drop down and put them in a choke. So from here, headlock A, double hammer fist, grab, heel palm. Headlock B, step forward, right hammer fist to the groin several times until they release you. Headlock C, drop to your right ridge hand, left grabs right around the foot, right forearm as you lift, pull forward and lift to take them down, rotate them over, and then get on back on top of them and apply the choke of your choice. Okay, from this angle, headlock A, grab, heel palm. Headlock B, just step forward and strike them until they release the lock. And then the C version, drop to your right, ridge hand as the left hand checks, grab, forearm, lift and pull forward, grab the heel and the toes, rotate, drop back down on top of them, and then go any of the chokes we talked about in your lesson 1. It's hot in here. That is headlock A, B, and C. Now, your next one. Crash of the Eagles, part 1. Part 2 is later on in blue belt. This basically contains 4 variations, and the 5th one's a different way to do it. And they all start off the exact same way. What you've got is a 2-hand choke from behind. On the B, A through D version, we're assuming that they're on top of you. In other words, there's not really a lot of space, so there's no room to step back. You have to step forward in order to do the technique. So the first thing you do as they grab is we're going to step forward to about the 132 o'clock position. Left hand in a check. Our right hand is going to come up and over and into a soft bow. Basically, you're just bringing that arm and you're jerking it right there on those crooks of the arm. Just jerk it as hard as you can and down. Now the A version, we're going to come back in with an elbow and then claw to the face. Okay, again, step back right to the 730 position, right hand up and over. Then from here we're going to come back in an elbow and then a claw to the face. Now this elbow can be done in a couple of different ways. I prefer to do a cross elbow or a horizontal elbow, or you can do a vertical. Either way will work for you for this technique. It just depends on what you prefer. Either way, no matter which way you do it though, you want to go to a soft bow and then back to horse, whether you're doing a horizontal or a vertical up or upwards elbow strike. So the A version. Now once you learn A, the rest of them are pretty much the same. We're just going to change our hand strike. So on the A, step forward, 230, up and over. Then from here you're in a left soft bow. Your right hand is in chamber, and you're going to come out of that into a horse or fighting stance with an elbow to the face, followed by a claw to the face. Okay, again on A. Because there again, once you got this one down, the rest are easy. Step back, up and over, elbow, and then back fist. Now when I do mine, I like to kind of throw a little bit of extra elbow in there, shoulder, and then come back in with the, I'm sorry, it's the claw to the face, is the A. Claw to the face, and then come in with that strike. Okay, again on A. Up, over, elbow, claw. Okay? Now, the B version to this. The B version is identical. Step left to 230, up and over, elbow, back fist to the face. So, on A, step left, up and over, elbow, claw. B, step left, up and over, elbow, back fist is B. So A, B, C, and D will all be forward to the 230 position. Now the C version to this, we're going to step over, elbow, or clear with the arms, elbow. Then we're going to come in and chop the collarbone, and then chop the collarbone again. Now some people just go 1, 2, which is fine. I like to follow through and do more of an X and get really into that strike and get as much momentum and power generated as I can. So let's go through the 3 again. So we got crash of the eagles, A, step left, 230, left hand kind of up in a check position, or sometimes I will put it on my hand to give me a little extra force on this drive. Boom, soft bow, elbow, claw. B, same motion. 1, up and over, elbow, back fist. C, some people remember this by C is chop chop. So C, elbow to the face, chop, chop to either side of the neck or the collarbone. Now the D version. The D version, instead of stepping at an angle, we're going to step more forward. This just kind of helps set up the hammer fist strike. We're going to step forward, up and over. Now this time, in this particular case, I like to use the upward elbow because it'll continue that flow of motion with the hammer fist. Now you still can go this way. There's nothing wrong with that. This is just a preference on mine. It just feels more fluid as far as the motion goes by just rotating it right into the other one. That's why when I do these cross elbows, it just helps me for fluidity, to keep it fluid and to feel fluid. It makes it easier for me to do. Okay, again, D, step forward, clear the arms. Now, what happens is when they grab you, they're right on top of you. So as you step forward, they're going to be pulled forward with you. That's going to bring them off balance just a bit, not a lot, And that's going to kind of jerk that head out just a bit. Kind of expose it. There again, it's not going to be a full, here's my head, hit it. That's why we're going to do the clearing. Now once we've done the clearing, and once we've stepped forward, the arms are extended. So as we go to clear them, that's going to jerk that head forward so that it's easier for the elbow strike, followed up by whichever one we're doing. So let's go through those 4 again. So we got crash of the Eagles A. We're going to step left to 230, up and over. Elbow to the face, follow through with that elbow. Don't just stop, okay? Follow through with that elbow and then follow in with your back, your claw in this case. So again, 230, left, up and over with your right, elbow with your right, claw to the face with your right, making sure your fingers are separated and slightly bent so you can get those eyes and not jam them in with the nose. Okay, again on A, forward, clear, elbow, claw. Then we have B, step forward, clear, elbow, back fist. C, step forward, up, elbow, chop the neck, chop the neck. Then D, step more to 12 position, up and over, elbow the chin, and hammer fist the groin. That brings us to Crash of the Eagles Part 1, E variation. Now a lot of students will say, why do we do E? I'm not going to hit that guy that many times. And you're right, you're not. You're not going to sit here and go back fist claw or claw back fist. It's just to do 2 things. One, it's to show you that you can just step back and do the exact same motion, but rather than have you do it 4 more times in the opposite direction, we're going to use this opportunity to work your hand strikes, learning to change from one strike to the next in case you want to combine some of these together. So on the D or on the E version, we're going to step back right to about the 730 position. Same thing as before. We're going to clear the arm. We're going to elbow. Then we're going to claw, back fist, chop. Adjust your foot if needed for the hammer fist to the groin. And that's it. That's all there is to D. Basically, you do all the above. So, we got Crash of the Eagles A. Step left, up and over. Clear that arm. Jerk that head forward. Get them off balance a little bit. Slam that head back so that you're in plenty of a range for the eye strike or claw. B version. Up, elbow, back fist to the side of the face. You can either come over the top and do the back fist to the top of the nose. There's a lot of different targets you can use with that one. Just figure out what's more comfortable for you. Some students like to come up and then back fist downwards. So it's all up to you on how you want to do that. There's really not a set way that we require for the elbow strike, as long as you get an elbow strike in across the jaw or up under the jaw followed by the proper strike. Okay, so we got B, up, elbow, back fist. C, clear, elbow, chop the collarbone or chop the side of the neck depending on what you're targeting. Follow through, bring that hand back around with your left hand in check and follow through the opposite direction. Now you can also do this way, this one is by going chop and then over the head and chop. Some people prefer that. Some people like the more of the X pattern. Okay, there again we leave it open a little bit on this one for the students to do what feels right for them and comfortable to make it as easy as possible for them to use the technique if it's ever needed. And that brings us to C. C is for chop chop, elbow, chop, and chop. Okay, and then D, step to 12, up and over, elbow, follow through into a rollover hammer fist to the groin. E, there again, we're just going to show you that if you step back, now why are we stepping back? Because their arms are at a distance. So this time we're going to step between them, clear the arms, elbow. Now we're going to work our striking pattern. Claw, back fist, chop, chop, hammer fist. Okay? Now, a lot of students will ask, does it matter if I do these out of order when I test? No. I am not so dogmatic about things that if you don't do them in the proper order, it doesn't count. As long as you get all 4 of them in there, then that's all that matters. You know the 4 variations. Doesn't matter whether you really know them in their proper order. So if you happen to do a back fist for A instead of a claw, or you did the chop for B, it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to sit there and critique that part of it. All I'm looking for is, did you know how to do the technique, and did you know what the technique was for? The orders of the variations usually are not important unless they are building on something like, I can't think of a technique right now that actually builds up to that particular final variation. Okay, so let's go through these one more time. Starting with A. Left foot goes to where? 230. Up and over. Soft bow, because we're going to use what? A circular power pattern. From here. Elbow, we're being back into a horse stance, followed by a claw to the face. Now there again, I put a little bit more oomph into it. Pull the shoulder in a little bit, and then lean into it just a bit to get some extra power. The B version, step, clear, elbow, back fist. B is for back fist. C, up, over, clear, chop, chop. D, step forward, up, over, hammer fist to the groin. And then we got the E version. We're going to step back, right, to 730, up and over, still a soft bow, elbow, claw, back fist, chop, chop, adjust if needed, hammer fist to the groin. And that's Crash of the Eagles, part 1, A through E. So now you know the first 2 techniques. So let's go through these one more time to make sure you understand them and fill in any more blanks I may think of. So, from the A version of headlock, you start from your trigger position, which is your body bent over. You're going to step left to 230, double hammer fist, one to the groin, one to the kidney. Right hand comes up and grabs the hair, pulls the hair back. At the same time you pull that head back, you're going to pivot to hard bow to face about 6 o'clock as you heel palm the jaw or the nose. The B version to this, you're just going to step forward with your right from your trigger position and just start hammer fisting the groin as you shuffle forward slightly. Just do it 2 or 3 times, but mentally keep in mind that you're going to do that until you get loose enough to do something else to continue on with your defense. And then headlock C. From this position, we're going to drop to our right, ridge hand the groin, left goes down, right goes on the right above the knee, push forward as you lift up, and push down on the knee. Then grab the foot and the heel, rotate over, drop back down, get on top of them, and I'll put one of those 5 chokes on that you learned in your first lesson. So headlock A from this position, double hammer fist, grab, heel palm into hard bow, right hand in chamber. B, step forward right, hammer fist to groin. Okay, C, drop right, ridge hand to the groin, it's the left hand checks, left hand goes down right behind the ankle, and you're going to pull forward, at the same time you're going to push back and lift, rotate them over onto their stomach, go back down on your knees, and put any one of those 5 chokes we learned in lesson 1 on them. Okay, that's headlock A, B, and C. Now from this angle, headlock A, double hammer fist, grab, heel palm. Okay. B, step forward and shuffle as you hammer fist their groin. C, drop with your right, ridge hand, grab, push and pull, rotate them onto their stomach, drop back down on top of them, and put in a headlock. Now as you drop back down, this is just kind of a side note here. You could take your knees as you drop and rake along their kidneys or ribs. You know, you can use that as an opportunity to strike them one more time before you apply the choke. Now, we got Crash of the Eagles Part 1. The A version. Step left, 230, right hand, up and over. Jerk that head forward, elbow the head back, followed by a claw to the face. The B version. Left to 230, arm up and over, elbow across the jaw, back fist to the face. And there again, you can go up under the chin and strike the nose if you want. The C version, up, over, elbow, chop, chop. D version, step forward to 12, up and over, roll over, hammer fist. E version. Why are we using the E again? That's right. It's because they're at a distance. They're arm's length. So now we're going to step back. You got it. Okay? We're back. Elbow, claw, back fist, chop, hammer fist. Okay? Those are your next two techniques for orange belt. Practice those, and when you think you got those down good enough, come on back and we will look at, practice those, come on back to lesson 3 and we'll go on to the next lesson. Now the next thing we're going to look at is your first technique in short 1, the first section. Now short 1 is basically an eye pattern. Almost every martial arts got this kind of a pattern. It's very common in Taekwondo, Shotokan, and basically what that means is, or a plus pattern in this case I should say, not the eye pattern. It's a straight down 12 to 6 and 3 to 9. So we're going to stay on those axes the whole time. If you do the technique or the kata correctly, you'll pretty much come close back to where you were from the start. If you've got the proper footwork, you shouldn't be too far off from where you began. Now all katas will begin and end with your salutation. At this level, up until you get to blue belt, or you start doing self-defense techniques more involved in the katas, you're going to do a basic salutation, which is the way we bow in and we bow out. Then from there, you go to your neutral stance. Now in this particular scenario with this kata, we're assuming we got a right-left punch coming with step through. So they step in with their left punch, their right punch, we step back and do stop hit A. Then they're going to throw a left punch, so we're going to step back again and do stop hit A, or not stop hit A, stop hit D, weak side. So the first section of short 1, salutation, bow, step back, stop hit, step back again, and stop hit again. Now as you do this, let me do this from this angle so you can see a little better. When you step back, watch your stance, soft bow to horse. Then the hands are going to stay there. Your stance will open up, slide straight back, and do it weak side. Okay, that's section 1 of short 1, which is stop hit D, and that's going from 12 o'clock is where the attack is coming from. So now you know short 1, the first section, which is stop hits. You know attacking the circle. You know the strokes and strangles for this belt. And in this lesson, you just learned headlock, A, B, and C, and Crash of the Eagles, A, B, C, D, and E. As always, if you ever have any questions or comments, you need me to go over something a little more in depth, please let me know. Put those in the comments below, and I will be happy to get those to you or talk to you directly. If at any time you have any other questions, please let me know, and all the best to you on this lesson, and I can't wait to see you for lesson 3. Good day to you.